Preparing to live stream the meeting. 1 second. Setting up, done, redirecting to YouTube. So in YouTube land, we are live. Let's do it, y'all. Got folks rolling in, so I'm gonna just keep my eye on it. All right. Ooh, we got Atlanta. We have Oregon. We have Jamaica. Josh, I know you here from Texas. Um, Beautiful, beautiful. So out of all of those already, we have 2 chapters stood up as we speak. We have Jamaica, we have Texas. They're rolling. I've been at their chapter meetings and they are rocking and rolling. Latoya, we still got to meet to stand up um, that Oregon, that Oregon chapter as well. So let's try to get on each other's schedule on uh as a matter of fact, what I'll do is yeah, what we've done already is kind of automated the process. So what I'll do is I'll email you and get that ball rolling. Cool.
Okay, sounds good.
Beautiful, beautiful. Portland, Oregon is next up. DMV, RS White. I need to link with you because I want to figure out how I want to do the DMV with this kind of being the home. I definitely want to try to link up in person at times and do some things like that. So let's get this ball rolling, everybody. I'm excited. I'm always excited for these because one, I just love having these conversations. I love having these conversations and beautiful RS. Uh, you know, for whatever reason, we and I'll just generalize, we um on average aren't surrounded by people that we can have these conversations with. Can you is it just me? Is it no? Yes? Okay, yeah. You know, for whatever, even if you're surrounded by poets, you know what I'm saying? Like not all poets are having the same conversation about, doing more with their poetry or taking it serious or professionalizing the art form. And that's cool. It's just it gets lonely sometimes, right? And to know that you have some like-minded, not just like-minded people, but you have like-minded poets as well that you can bounce ideas off of, just vent, rant about your week, your month, how folks are not responding to your emails, whatever it might be. So this is definitely a great space and safe space and resource for us to do that, and that's what we're going to jump in. And we don't have a whole lot of people, so we can kind of go around the room. Let's go around the room real quick. And I'll call out the names, and you just let me know who you are and where you're located, just so we can kind of put names and faces together. And if you're in a situation where you can't hop on camera, I completely understand. This is not a corporate setting, so I'm not forcing you, but we would love to see your face at the same time. All right, cool beans. Latoya, I already called your name, but who are you and where you located?
Hi, everybody. My name is Latoya, artistically known as the Poet Lady Rose, and I am in Portland, Oregon,
Nice. What's your IG?
at the Poet Lady Rose.
All right, sweet. Let's do those three right there. Name, social media, and where you're located, just so we can follow each other and stay connected. Aaliyah, I believe I'm saying your name right.
Yes, my name is Aaliyah. I'm in the DMV area.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, I'm in the
Nice.
DMV area as well.
Beautiful. What's your IG?
I don't use IG.
Got you. Not a
Use Facebook.
problem. I just
Um,
assumed.
I just was in a workshop with Lady Rose, so this is small world.
Nice.
So
In person or virtual?
yeah,
Say that
it was
again.
virtual. We were in that Mississippi
Oh,
virtual space, and I checked out your website. You're doing it. You're doing it, girl.
oh,
Let's
thank
I
you.
love
My
it.
go.
actual website that needs to be updated, but thank you.
Well, no, it had like, yeah, no, your work is amazing.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, thank you.
Hey, that is a perfect example of of you not knowing the impact that you make on people. You know what I mean? Like just by presenting yourselves um with excellence and professionalism, it says so much and it takes you so much farther. Just on this call, we haven't even started the thing. That's beautiful.
And during the wins, I want to talk more about that because it's
All
easy
right.
to get in your feelings, like you
I
say, when you
know.
feel like people aren't paying attention. But twice in the last week, I have to rewire my brain because the right people are paying attention. So anyway,
Oh, you just said a whole word. Let's all right, let's get through these names. And I'm a hold that in my mind. The right people. That's a whole sermon right there. Deanna, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Where you located and what's your social
So
media?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and my social is at Deanna Repose Oaks, spelled just like my name
Beautiful,
together.
beautiful. Awesome, awesome. RS White.
Hey, hello, everybody. I'm RS White from the DMV as well. My socials are RS White for TikTok and then the real RS White on Instagram.
Okay. DMV is getting real deep. We got to do a meetup, man. We got to do it in person real soon. Let's see what April and May looks like. Weather's getting nice. I got a space, and so we can definitely link up. So I'll let y'all know, and I'll also invite you all to the DMV WhatsApp chapter because I haven't done anything with it yet. So I'll let y'all know as soon as possible. Joshua, Texas.
Yes, sir. Hello, my name is Joshua. I'm from Texas, and my social is at Sculpted Roses Company.
Beautiful, beautiful. Josh and Poet Lady Rose both are graduates of the Poet Transformation cohort. And as you can tell, they're not playing no games. Josh is the leader of the Texas chapter and Latoya is soon to be the leader of the Oregon chapter. But both, as you saw, Aaliyah spoke of her website and just her online presentation. It's a different look, and you draw opportunities to you when you make that transformation. All right. Now, is it Ki or Kai Divine? Let me know.
It is Key Divine.
Key, got you. My bad. All right, what's going on?
Oh yeah, yes, it's Key Divine. I'm out here in Texas. And my socials are Key Divine number 9 on IG and Key Divine, just Key Divine on TikTok.
Got you. Cool, cool, cool. Somebody's calling me right now. Cool. Can't talk right now. What's up? All right, cool. And Jo, you just came into the room. Talk to me.
Hey,
Oh,
how
do you know?
everybody
I'm
doing?
sorry, Jo. We're saying our names, where you're located, and what's your social media. Can you hear us?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. What's your name and where you're located, and what's your social media?
Hey, I'm Jo. I'm in Virginia, Newport, Virginia, 757. And on Instagram, yeah, on Instagram,
Nice.
I'm Jo the Poet. I post a couple poems here and there.
I love it. I was just in the 757, man. I was just in Hampton. I was speaking at a school. I don't know if you're familiar with shoot, I almost lost, I think I lost the name of the middle school. Northside Middle School.
Mm-mm.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. All right. So somebody's asking for the passcode real quick. Bear with me, y'all. Invite. What is the passcode? Let me do something real quick. Let's do this while I try to help this person from Jamaica. Hold on. Who's from Jamaica in here? Oh, did I miss somebody? Tanisha?
Tanisha?
Sorry,
Hi.
thank you. Tanisha, how you doing?
Good night. I'm doing fine, thanks.
Do you
So,
know Britain? I'm sorry. Do you know Britain?
Britain, yes.
Okay, can you do me a
Definitely.
favor? Can you message him the link?
The link?
Yeah,
Okay. I'll
he
send it to
said he
him.
can. He has the registration link, but he needs the passcode. He must be on his phone.
I'll just send him the link and he should be able to get
Yeah,
in
work with him for me, please.
I'll do just that.
Okay, thank you so much. And if I don't know if you can talk at the same time, let us know. Well, you're
I'm
Tanisha, you're in
I'm
Jamaica.
operating sideways.
It's all good.
All right. So while I'm Tanisha and from Jamaica, my link is at _TQUROV. That's _TQROV. That's my Instagram handle. Cool.
Okay, got
Bless.
you.
Version is on soon.
All right, beautiful. Thank you. All right, cool. Let's get this ball rolling, y'all. When it's not a lot of people in here, I want to do that if we can, just to kind of create the camaraderie in here. Oh, my guy, G Dash Jones, man, talk to us. Let us know who you are, where you're located, and what's your social media.
So yeah, make sure you say media.
Right. What's your social security number, man?
I'm G Dash Jones, the improv poet. I specialize in creative messaging and once in a lifetime moments. I'm from Delaware, but everywhere, wherever you need me to be, we can be, you know? Okay. And yeah, I'm a published author and I host shows, I do all types of things. So
I love it. What's your social media?
I'm at G Dash Jones. It's all
Got you.
at G Dash Jones. Just spell out the
I love
dash.
it. I love it. It's easy to find them. I love it. That's good stuff, man. You already know he has his elevator pitch ready to rock and roll. It's beautiful. All right, man. So let's jump in, y'all. So this is where we start. This is where we start. And I want you to feel comfortable. What's the word I want to use? What's the verb I want to use? Not gloating, but I want you to be proud to talk about what's happening in your poet life. All right. So don't dumb it down and say it's all something small that I did. No, everything, every win we celebrate, no matter how small or big. I don't care if it was an email that was responded to, because that turns into something big potentially. All right. So raise your hand if you know how to do that, and let us know what wins you had this past month. Talk to us. Think about it. I'll start straight out the gate. I just shared that I spoke at a school in the 757 in Hampton, Virginia, and I made it a family trip. You know, my kids are homeschooled. My wife she works remotely, and I said, I speak on that Thursday, and I said, let's just make it a weekend trip. You know, I went to Norfolk State, right? So had the opportunity to take my kids on the campus of both Hampton and Norfolk State. So we just kind of made it a whole family trip. But the speaking engagement was awesome. I hardly spoke of poetry because I wanted to know what the kids were interested in. That was my question. My question wasn't, all right, this is what we do. And I know it was, what do you want to create right now? Not what do you want to be when you grow up? I don't ask that question. I don't ask that question because it's almost too late when you grow up and have bills already, and then you can't pursue your purpose because you just got to go get a job to pay your bills, right? So my question to kids all the time is, what do you want to create right now? So that's a win for me. It was beautiful. I got photos and pictures, got videos and things of that nature. So I'm gonna pass it on to Poet Lady Rose.
And I'm gonna throw it in there for you. We got the 500 people on the Poet Network.
Right, that's a big win. Everybody clap that up. We reached 500 poets from around the world. Thank you, Poet Lady Rose. I that passed my mind because that was last week, and I
You on to the next already?
Right. Now that's good. That's a major and organically. We did not put an ad to the network at all. It's all organic, so it's beautiful. Go ahead.
Okay, so I got a list, but I'm not gonna take up all the time.
Okay.
So this Friday, coming, there's a launch event for a local arts magazine, and I'm one of the featured artists. So we'll be doing a launch event for that.
Nice.
Last week I got reached out to through a DM about performing at the state capitol here in Oregon. It will be my second time. They're very different experiences though. And in that conversation, it was interesting because this person is a nonprofit and they're actually doing a march to the Capitol. And then once they're at the Capitol, they'll have, little entertainment and speakers and stuff and everything. So this person doesn't work for the nonprofit. They were hired and brought on specifically to get the speakers and entertainment. And so she and I were talking about the, stuff, and she put out, so she also said, well, you know what? I was thinking about who I wanted. I know who you are. I feel like you fire. I feel like I had to reach out to you. And that, again, I was just like, oh, because honestly, I be in my little Cancer feelings.
Right.
Sometimes I just be feeling, well, not that I do it for attention, but at the same time, sometimes I wonder, am I really making an impact? Are people really paying attention? And so when she said that, I was like, oh, thank you. And I said that, and we know, and she shared some of her own experiences, shared experiences and frustration. But then when it came time to the pay, so this was a little different than, because this coming up really fast. So we didn't do I'm still working on implementing the discovery cost. But when she brought up, like, this is what we got, again, it's not my budget, it's their budget. We're almost to the top of the budget anyway. So she put out an amount, and I said, yeah, typically I do start, higher than that. And she says, look. And I said, but I believe in the whatever, all the mission and everything and stuff, and I'll do it. And she says, well, I can go back and ask. She's like, all they can say is no. And I was still like not with my whole chest saying, okay, this, I was just like, okay, cool. Go back and see if you can get as close as you can to my minimum. And whatever. And I told her about sending the invoice and all that. And so she called me back, and she said she was texting while we were talking. She, and I explained, because she said, well, even though you're performing for like 5-6 minutes, well, the state capitol is an hour from here. So that's first thing. I was like, well, it's not just about 5 or 6 minutes. It's about me getting there. I'm not a person who just shows up when it's time for me to go on and leave as soon as I'm done. Again, I'm invested in the event and the mission and and everything like that. And so she was just like, you know what? I respect that. Thank you for explaining that to me. It makes sense. I can't promise you, but I'm gonna go back. So she said she was texting while we are talking, and then we hung up, and then she called me back, and it was funny because she's like, oh, hey, this is, so-and-so. And she goes, well, actually, when I asked that, actually, I found out the first amount I told you, that was even too much. And she was like, so really it's just like $50 or whatever. And then I was like, what? And then she's like, I'm just playing. They said yes. I was like, look, I'm not telling you, you can go get JoJo from around the block, whatever. So So I still got twice, probably like twice as much. It's still a little below my typical, but how we've been talking about, it's not always just about the money. So I'm going to the state capitol. It's probably going to be media there. Also, later on, so it goes until 4, but then at 7, they're having a happy hour gathering with politicians and senators and everything like that. And she said that definitely that I am welcome to attend that. And she encouraged me. And she also encouraged me. She was even telling me how to like set up like a poster board while I'm on stage with a QR code. Like we was really vibed and had a good conversation.
Relationship.
So I just love that. So that's coming up on what's that, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I had a similar experience where I actually responded myself to a request for performers. And then when I did, this person said, actually, I'd like to invite you. Again, I know who you are. I admire your work. And because the post on IG just said performers. It didn't say for what, it didn't say in what, whatever. So once we connected and I reached out, she was like, actually, I want to invite you to be a special feature. And so just with those two things, because again, I got a list, but just with those, I just needed God, universe, whatever you want to call it, just knew because I've been in my little feelings lately. I've been frustrated, but also taking accountability at the same time for I love G Dash, like your elevator pitch is on point. That is an area of growth that I need to work on. And then the last thing I'll just say in that vein is also I've made some progress in like I wrote it down so I get it right. I made progress restructuring my poetry business, my services and messaging, and progress in creating an outline for my new website. So
Nice. No, that's good. That's beautiful. The biggest thing that stood out for me, there's a couple things, but the biggest thing that stood out for me, and I'll just share with you all, I'm considered like the moderator of this. And I'll be leveraging your wins, lessons and roadblocks to impart. All right. So I heard you say, even in your introduction prior, you said the right people are watching. And it's so important for us to understand that because in this social media world, it's all about likes, follows, subscribers, comments, right? But when it comes to business, it really is about the engagement. Not even the 3 or 4 things that I mentioned, because that's what they consider engagement. It is the right people coming to your profile to just take a gander. They might not even like, comment, subscribe, but they're looking for who they're looking for. They're scouting. Notice she said they already knew me. They knew of me, right? Which means they know her footprint online, because what she posts intentionally, right? And so I want to encourage you all, don't post just to post. Every post needs to have an intention or a call to action, or right, it needs to have a purpose. Okay. So the other side of the coin that I heard you say, what was it? So when it comes to how you present yourself when they make the connection, whether you made the connection or they made the connection with you, it is going to serve you a lot better if you continue or start with the process that you put in place for yourself. But I will say this. Yes, I will say, let's schedule a call, but if they're ready to talk right now, let's talk. And that will be the discovery call. Because in business, it's about speed. It's about the impulse buy, right? So if they're ready to talk right now, that's the discovery call. So thank you for carving out this time for me. Thank you for reaching out to me. I just have a few questions concerning this project or this opportunity. Do you have a few minutes? And she's like, yeah, most definitely. Right. So don't feel any type of way that you didn't say let's schedule it, because if she's ready to talk now. All right. So good stuff. And also good for you for standing strong. But even if they didn't have money, even if it was $5, $50, remember there are other ways to be compensated. Just remember that. And we've talked about that several times, but there's new faces here, and we'll talk about that more. But there are other ways to be compensated, and it may not be monetarily. But notice she said the caliber of event. We're talking about senators and congresswomen, people, and which means when she goes to do what she does well, all of those other people who have opportunities in their bags will see her do what she does well and want to work with her, which means that creates more opportunities. So that one opportunity might just serve as an investment. So that's why it's so important to evaluate each opportunity, whether it is paid or not. But congratulations on getting what you desired. So beautiful. Beautiful. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. G-Jones, man. What's one of your wins, bro?
One of my wins, I'm going most the most recent situation. So I do the art loop every month. I have a contract with the city where I travel with the city and do spoken word based upon the art. Now, this separate an artist is putting together what's called an art battle, and they reached out to me and they said, hey, we want you to host, which makes sense because I do spoken word, to the thing, and they've never done it here in Delaware like that before, and they were like, we're bringing this down from Philly. So I'm like, bet, I'm hyped, let's go. They like, what's your price? I tell them life is good. She like, oh, I got you. Then she says, well, the organizer is bringing somebody who does the one in Philly. They're bringing a host from Philly to host it down here.
Okay.
All right. But mind you, because I did the art loop recently, and I want to point this out because you said it, I was intentional about posting something from the art loop specifically. I try to make sure that I get a little bit of footage so people can kind of see it. And I posted within a good time frame. And then I had a poet right on my show. I had Uncultured Asian on my interview show. Like, it was a boom, boom, boom moment.
Yeah.
So then the artist reaches back out to me and she's like, listen, I know we got our hosts, but I want you to do what you do here. I'll pay you out of pocket just to have you come to do this, which, mind you, I never said this to her, but I would have did it for free just because it's such a cool event. It's dope. It's new. It's something that's going to be a lot of fanfare. Like, we don't see that yet. We never had something like this. And I know the venue, the people who's running the venue, like, it's a lot of benefits for me to be in that space. So when she said, I'm gonna pay you out of pocket just to come for a half an hour, just stop through a little bit and just give me one. I said, enough said, go say less. So that to me is definitely a great win for me.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful. One thing, and this is for you and everybody. For those opportunities that we will do for no upfront pay, Definitely do them if they serve you well, right?
She's gonna pay me, but go ahead.
For sure, definitely. I got that one. Beautiful. So, but definitely do them, because if you see the value in it besides or outside of, compensation. However, still do it in a way that serves you long term. Got it? So what I mean by that is, all right, no pay opportunity. Cool. I'm not just out the blue saying no. I'm still evaluating the situation. And so they tell me what the situation is. Here's the process that I encourage you to use. And that is, I'm glad to do this because at the beginning of each year, we at so-and-so LLC allot 3 non-paid or community service, we'll call it that, right? Community service opportunities. And we would love for yours to be one of the 3. All right. So that says a whole lot to them. Oh, thank you. So, right. That you look like the superhero in that situation, right? Not just, oh, I'll do it for free. Right. It's that. But then the other side of it is, so what I'll do now is I'll email you an invoice for what I would have charged. Okay. But what I'll do is I'll zero it down to, I'll zero it down. But also I'll email you that tax deductible, or I'll ask for them to email me the tax deductible form or letter that says I donated this amount of the service that I'm what am I trying to say? I'm donating the amount of, do you understand what I'm saying? I can't get the wording right.
So here, and I don't know if this is a everywhere thing, but what we wound up using, or what I wound up using, is what's called an in-kind donation form.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. Exactly. In-kind donation is what it's called. And what that means is you get paid on the back end through your tax when it's tax time at the end of the year. Does that make sense? So you benefit on the back end, but again, you're training those who you serve to serve you, right? So you're benefiting the relationship, and because they're thankful, but you're also benefiting your business as well. All right. Joshua, what's your win? Good stuff, G-Dad.
Okay, so at the beginning of the year, one of my goals was to have this certain Dallas staple reach out to me for an interview, and that happened about a week and a half ago. Without me going out and saying anything, they reached out to me, which was what Lady Rose is talking about, how you notice you're on different people's radars that you didn't think. So that was a really big win for me, because that was one of my goals at the beginning of the year that I wanted to accomplish. And having them reach out to me without me going out and saying anything was cool. And then right after that, another magazine reached out to me for another interview. And so
nice.
I got 2 back to back, and then another feature coming up in a few weeks. And so those are really nice wins for me.
Nice. Now let me ask you this. This is for everybody too. All these wins, are we documenting these wins? Are we through our social media allowing that to be a content bucket right? When I mean content bucket, I mean when great things happen, let that be a source of content, which means is quite simply a video that says, hey, y'all, man, awesome thing just happened today. Somebody just shot us a DM that says they want us to be a feature ad. Does that make sense? So real simple, not super salesy, it's a natural way to let your supporters know what's happening, right? Because because they're supporters and not just followers, they want to cheer you on. They want to cheer you on, and it shows that you're working. Show your work, not just the performances, but the inner workings of the work. All right, good stuff, man. Beautiful. Deanna, talk to us. What's your wins?
So last Saturday, I gave a speech about poetry to a writers group
Wow.
called the Inkling Collective up in Canton, Georgia. And it was my first ever like speaking engagement in front of an audience. And not only, I'm so proud of myself, not only was my voice loud and clear, people in the back were laughing and clapping and asking questions by the end. I was invited to 3 open mic performances, an interview, and I sold 3 books to writers.
Sheesh.
So I'm very proud of myself for all that because, like I said, it was my very first one. So I'm very
Man,
excited about it.
congratulations. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. So whatever works, we continue.
Yep.
Whatever works. We don't just say, oh, that was great.
No, and then off the back of that, I got people coming to my open mic that's coming up at the bookstore on Friday. And the bookstore owner has agreed to sell our books like on the table while we're there. Like they're gonna buy them from us at the retail cost and sell them to the customers as they come in for open mic night.
They see the
So
value.
I'm very excited about that too.
That's beautiful. That simply means they see the value in what you have to offer.
Yep.
That's huge. That means you did your job. You did your job well, because whether they knew before or not, they really know now.
Exactly.
Good work. So that means public speaking is also on the docket.
Oh yeah.
Yes, indeed. When things work, we continue. So that's beautiful. Congratulations. I love to see it. I love to hear it. J.O., come off the mic and talk to us.
Okay. So from the last month, I was able to not only get back into writing, but also finish my book, and I'm very proud about that. And also, another poet hit me up about 2 weeks ago, and she was pretty much like, "Hey, I think we should do a show together." Because she was like, "Oh, I love your poems. You're amazing. You touch me. All that, all that good stuff." And she was like, "I would love if me and you collaborated and did a show together." And it's just ironic to me because I was literally prepared to kind of stop writing because I had stopped writing for about 6 months, like it wasn't inspired. But I wrote a couple poems, did an open mic, and then she was like, "Hey, you dope. Let's do a show." And I'm like, "Okay, bet."
Yeah.
It was dope. It was really dope. I'm proud of that.
Yeah. That's beautiful, man. That's congratulations on that for sure. For sure. When I want y'all to remember, and you've all heard this several times since people have been sharing their wins. Don't ever see this Don't ever see this as just something that you know how to do. Don't ever see what we're doing as just something that you know. It's just another thing that you know how to do. And if you stopped it just, I want you to see it as if you stop it, then someone doesn't get what you have to offer. And the same way poetry saved your life, your poetry can and is saving somebody else's life. So, in a sense, stopping or not pursuing your purpose is selfish. I'm put some weight on it. Because we were given the gift not really for us. The gift was for us to hone in and be good stewards of the gift so we can then re-gift it to somebody else. I want to impress upon you all that the superpower that you have really is saving your life for sure, but it's saving somebody else's as well, and potentially will save a whole lot more people's lives. And that's how you should look at sales. You need to get your book out to the world. The world needs this book, not just I want to sell some books. When that changes, when the perspective of what you do changes to that, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. Everybody had their hands up. Did we get everybody? Let me know if I missed you. If I did not, then we'll. If you said what you needed to say, put your hand down for me. RS, did we get you? No?
No, you didn't get me. I don't think you
All right,
got
go for it.
me.
Go for it.
Yeah, so this week I actually just got an email yesterday asking for requesting for speakers at a event in Richmond, Virginia, with the I think it's the Henrico County government, general government employees and stuff for an event for DEI, right? So so
Wait,
if
hold on, wait. I don't want to cut you off, but hold on. R.S. White was the poet who wrote the DEI poem for February. So did they see that?
Yeah, so they did see that. I got an email about it, but also it was a friend of mine that I used to be one of my mentors when I was younger, years ago in college, that also does huge work across college spaces and DEI. So since I just started with my rebrand with RS White on TikTok and Instagram, she saw some of my other work I was doing, and she was talking about introducing me to some people in her network with that before the DEI submission came out for February. But I just got this email in the mail about telling them asking me to submit resumes, photos, presentation, focusing on the agenda topic that they're trying to cover, which is about where is it? It's about taking off the mask to uncover the path to equality is the theme they're focusing on for this conference theme. So conference speaking, gotta submit just so I can be considered, pitch deck, fees, and all that stuff. I gotta formulate and figure out for this. And they were had a couple of bullets for different topics they were looking into for people to focus on. So now I gotta take my tech experience and my writing experiences and turn it into a little something to submit.
That's so good. Listen to what he just said. I have to incorporate my other skills. Don't separate your writing skills from your technical skills, from your psychological skills, whatever skills that you have. Bring them into the fold, because that just makes you more valuable, more knowledgeable, more resourceful. All right.
It's the only way I can justify trying to, make them, pay it, cough up, like 5 figures or something. So
right, exactly. That says use the degrees you have, use the letters behind your name, use the organizations that you're a part of to add more cornerstones to your foundation, not just poetry. I can't say that enough. All right, listen. It's 45 or 48 right now. So if you have wins, do me a favor, drop them in the chat for me, and we will celebrate you the same way we're celebrating the verbal ones. All right, do me that favor. Let's move on to the lessons, not losses, right? The lessons, not losses, are just as important, and oftentimes they are more important than the wins because we learn more. All right, so who has some lessons, not losses? I know we all winning and all, but come on now, we didn't learn something in this past week. Josh, go for it.
So I attended this conference last weekend, and there was a prominent entrepreneur there speaking, and he was breaking down time management, something we all struggle with. And so he broke it down week to week and talked about how it takes about, or month to month, he talked about how it takes about 80 hours for this, 60 for this, and then he even went as far to say, if you even sleep 10 hours a day, which no one does, that still leaves you about 20 hours roughly to do any extracurricular activity and stuff. And so when he kind of broke it down like that, it really clicked in my mind, like just how much I spend wasting time or kind of meandering through things, and how much more I can be productive with it. And so it helped me kind of make a new like time management schedule, and it encouraged me to implement that and be more purposeful with my time, because that's always a big struggle for me.
Time management.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to help with that struggle, what helps a lot is, one, to know that you have a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the foundation of it all. You got to know that there's always something to do. And so instead of, kind of fumbling with the things to do in your mind, you got to write it down.
Mm-hmm.
We all got to work with that too. We got to write down what we need to do for the week, what we need to do for the month, right? And so when you do that, you then say, all right, on Monday, I'm going to tackle these 3 things. And when you tackle those 3 things on that Monday, you feel more accomplished and not like you've wasted time, because you did what you set out to do. And great if you do more, but at the very least, you knock 3 things off that list.
Exactly. And within that, because I have been writing things out, and I have my calendars and stuff, because I'm a pretty organized person. And so I'll say that I'm learning how to build my muscles, my mental muscles, and get stronger, because I'll start out good, and then I kind of lose stamina and steam, and then kind of get lazy, and then I'm on this roller coaster. So I'm learning how to make it more steady and coast and not keep going on this up and down.
I got you. No, I understand that. I understand that. Here's one way to keep it even keel.
Okay.
Always be working on something. Always be working on a project, whether it's for a client, or for yourself or for your brand. Always be working on something, right? And when you're working on that one thing, you're also working on the thing that connects to that thing, meaning the thing that you're working on should always be a catalyst for the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? So never just work on one thing. Go grab that thing that you have on the back burner, bring it towards the front, and just when you have free time, you're then going to AI or Google or wherever else to get more research, more information concerning that future project. So that means you're always, again, as you're focusing all your energy and all your time on that one thing, you also then have your mind to the thing that's happening next. And especially when you're in communication with people who are interested in you, you can let them know that you're working on this. And, you know, I wanted to put this bug in your ear. This one thing is coming up in the future. You might be interested in that as well.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Right. So that keeps the momentum high.
Right.
And this is for everybody. Don't let the momentum die. Because it's hard, and we know this, it's hard to build up momentum for a thing. But if you stay high, you won't have that roller coaster thing. All right. So as you are building the momentum on this one thing, that new thing can then attach to the momentum of the thing that you're currently working on. All right. Good dear, good to see you. What's your lesson, not your loss?
Hi, Christoph. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I was late. One lesson that I've learned in the past year or so is even though you get a lot of opportunities, don't go with every single one to where it makes no room for what you're doing as an entrepreneur. That's something that I had to learn because I kept saying yes, yes, yes. I was really excited about these opportunities, and some of them I'm still with after a year, and I'm grateful for. Don't get me wrong, but it has pushed my plans to the side. So yeah.
Got you. You know, that's so good. When you make the transformation, you then find out you don't have to say yes to everything. It's when you're an individual. When you're an individual, you just want everybody to see you. You just want everybody to be interested in you. Please call me. Please DM me. I'll say yes to anything. And that's why they get you for the low, because you're just so excited, so pressed, right? But when you make that transformation and you know that you can get quality opportunities, you don't have to get everything, because that one opportunity that you're seeking or that you're working on now adds up to 5 of those small ones that you were pressed to get when you were an individual. So you don't have to burn yourself out on those opportunities that, let me kind of do this work at the house as opposed to being out in the street all the time. Let me be with the family, sit on the couch watching whatever on TV while I'm also working on this project as well. So, G Jones, what lesson, that loss have you experienced?
Yeah, so this actually goes great with that. So in the last, I guess I'll say recently, I'll say it that way. Uh I have a poet on my show, on my interview show every month.
Mm-hmm.
The last couple of them have told me that they looked up to me, and the lesson in this that for me was I look at majority of my opportunities come from proposals that I have to put out, meetings that I have to say, things that I'm chasing down. And these are
Right.
poets that get the calls. And how do you know? Sometimes in certain areas, you know who gets the calls. You
Yeah.
know who's getting the call for the opportunities, right?
Yeah.
So when they're like, "Oh, I looked up to you. I could wait." I'm like, man, like, do you know who's calling you? Because I know who called you. I
Right.
know because I didn't get the call, and I had to like the lesson for me. It's that, well, it's that run your race, right? Like, cool, like those calls ain't my calls. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as my brain be like, oh man, I ain't get that
Yeah.
one. All right, okay,
Yeah.
that one ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? So they're looking at me, and I'm looking at them. But you know what I'm
Right.
saying? We all winning.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I also heard you say that they are looking up to you, which means we have to continuously remember that we're dope.
Yeah.
We got to remember that, and we get in our own feelings, we get in our own head to say that I'm just no, there are people, and not just poets, but there are people out there seeing your consistency, seeing the quality of work that you're putting out there, and they're like, man, and he got 3 kids and a wife, and he got this, that, and the third. How in the world is he doing all this? And in your mind, it's just like, just it's regular, So remember that, and don't feel as though you're being arrogant. We got to let that go. I don't care who says it. Like for real. Those who are insecure in themselves will call you arrogant because of the confidence that you have, not knowing that you had to pray for the confidence level that you have. What? I had to pray for this level of confidence to do what I'm doing right now, because I could be like, man, they looking at me like, who am I had that imposter syndrome. What is it about me that they gonna look up to? Like, I mean, but we wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't granted the level of confidence that I prayed for. Wouldn't have had the fortitude to man. I remember I didn't want to put myself on a flyer because that made me feel arrogant.
Yeah.
Like, who am I to be on somebody's flyer? Yeah, all of that. So I encourage you, understand that you're dope, man, and walk in your dopeness, walk in your greatness. It's not arrogant to say that you're great at what you do. Tanisha, what's your lesson, not your loss?
Hey, hi. So in the past year, I hosted my first poetry event. It was called Brata Backyard Poetry. And I remember when I was printing the flyers, someone asked me, why not have the event in a more popular area? I told them sometimes you have to be the Peeny Wally in the bush, have to bring the light where there's complete darkness. And I did it. And it was an awesome event. I had the support of Britton, who is on, and Casey, the Jaiku team was there. I had major support from my community as well. And it was a great experience. Persons are asking me when next. So that's one of my great lessons. And another one. I recently became a finalist in the Caricon Poetry Slam, which is happening this Friday. And thank you. The thing is, I was frustrated. I was like, I can't bother with this. I wrote the poem, but to study it and to know it, I was floundering. But I remember those times when I'd encourage my friend she's an artist, and she'd be up and she'd be down and she'd be confused as to where to go and what to do. And I'd spend the time and encourage her. She's not here to encourage me, so I had to take the time to say, hey, Tanisha, you got to do this. You're going to do it. You're going to take the time. You're going to pray. You're going to meditate. You're going to focus on what you have to do. So I had to become my own motivator, when I was feeling down and out. And the thing is that I motivated myself. And I got to the point where I got the email to say congratulations and I'm going forward, I'm looking
Nice.
forward. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. Got to talk to yourself. And again, be comfortable with saying how great you are. That's what gets us. You may not be able to say it in the presence of other people, because those people will say again that you're arrogant. But in these settings, in the network, throw your wins in there. I'm surprised, like, not more poets are dropping questions and lessons and wins. If you don't, the loneliness is going to set in. I'm telling you. That's what the network is for. Don't wait till third Wednesdays. You got that daily. Let the network, the community, respond in comments and push you to go forward and give you feedback. Like I posted today, I'm getting back into schools heavily, and I posted today in the network. I said, hey, I need some feedback. I spent all day today and some days prior updating the Poet Life Academy landing page, and that's where we work with kids K through 12, and got some great feedback from R.S. White and others, because when you're creating it, you're blind to outside looking in. It's always right. It's the opposite. So I didn't get what he saw until he said it. So leverage the network, or I'm gonna just think y'all not working. Come on now, like let's see what we got. You have people with insight, skills, and knowledge that can help you, not just me. Britton.
Hey, what's up? Night, everybody.
What's up, man?
Yeah, good, Finally got to log in.
Glad you got in, man. What's your lesson, not your loss?
Yeah, well, definitely we're in a season of wins right now.
Beautiful.
As far as Jaiku is concerned. Today I got an opportunity from the National Library of Jamaica, where they reached out to me to read a poem and submit for an upcoming video series that will be celebrating classic Jamaican poems on World Poetry Day. And I was selected to read a poem called Nature. And that's actually a very nostalgic piece for me, because it takes me right back to grade 4 in primary school when we used to actually read that poem. So it was nice to get the opportunity to get back in touch with that childhood experience of connecting with a classic Jamaican poem. And then knowing that it will be shared on World Poetry Day on their platform, and Jaiku will also get to, to share in that glory as well.
Beautiful.
And I printed a custom shirt finally for Jaiku. So, we're gonna represent,
That's what
and we
I'm
have a
talking
whole
about.
host of stuff going on. Even as we speak, Casey is currently at Pencil Open Mic. She's currently hosting there. So she's super, super busy. And the whole team right now is very busy. Even today, Chantel had an excellent interview on Power 106 FM to speak about the things that we have going on for Kingston Poetry Week. So yeah, things are really looking up. And I'm currently reminding myself of my own dopeness as
Yes.
I traverse into the competitive space to compete with the likes of Tanisha. She's an excellent poet in her own right, and I look forward to being in her company on Friday because I'll also be competing in the Caracan Poetry Slam as well.
I love it.
There's a lot of exciting stuff going on,
That's beautiful. Jamaica is crushing it. The Jamaica
Definitely.
chapter is crushing it. When I tell you, I remember when I was in Jamaica and I was speaking, in front of them, and I can't remember who said it, but someone said, and because what I was saying to them is, that there's opportunity everywhere. And someone rebutted with, this isn't America, so opportunities aren't as vast as they are there, like they aren't here. I know I said that backwards, but you all understand what I'm saying. Right. And I said, this has nothing to do with America. Opportunities are worldwide. Even if your experiences were that of no one really sees poetry like that, it is because you have not been presenting it in such a way that they see the value in it. But also through knowledge and experience, you're able to transform yourself into something that is more attractive. But again, through knowledge, you're able to now explain and demonstrate how it can add value to anybody in your country. Just said the National Library reached out to him. The right people, that's a callback to, I think, Poet Lady Rose, right? The right people. I'm not gonna say I'm sure he doesn't have a lot of followers, but because I don't. I think I have 7,000, whatever, right? But you would think that you need a whole lot of followers for opportunities to come your way, and that's not true. It's the right people. If it's 10 people following you, and those 10 people are the right people, it only takes one of those 10 to give you an opportunity. And then when you do that opportunity, when you have 20 to 30 to 50 people in front of you, then it expands to 10, 30, 50 right people experiencing what you have to offer. All right, cool. Roadblocks. Let's keep moving. What roadblocks are stopping you, slowing you down? What's in your way? Let's get around them. We're gonna connect roadblocks and strategies together. So what do you think is slowing you down? I know I heard time management, even low self-esteem in some levels, right? But what do you think stopping you from reaching a goal or a destination? Is it family? Is it just lifing? You know, it doesn't have to be something like a person or a thing. It could be a situation. Joshua.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely this new chapter that started in transition. So I know I've talked about it before, but I'm a month into my new job, and then I also just moved from Denton into Dallas. So now I'm in the heart of Dallas downtown. And the new job is definitely where my passion is. I get to work in my field again. I haven't worked in my field in about almost 4 years. So getting back into my field was definitely a big thing that I wanted to do. But it's also a lot to learn and a lot to keep track of. And the job is going through their own transition as well, as far as getting new staff and people wearing multiple hats. And so I haven't really been able to get the adequate training that I need and really get a handle of things. And there's so much to do with this position that it's going to take a while naturally anyways. Like it takes they say a couple years to get down to where you know stuff. But my official title is qualified intellectual disabilities professional. And so I am basically a case manager, and I'm managing 4 different homes in Dallas for adults with disabilities. And I'm right under the program director. And so it was another elevated step. But within all that, I've had to kind of take a step back from my creative side and my business and everything else. So I'm still trying to get things done here and there, but when I do get things done, I get a little bit done, and if I'm not, I'm usually exhausted from work and just trying to get through the day. But definitely a transition phase. So
I got you. I want you to work on automation.
Automation. Okay.
I want you to work on figuring out what can be automated and how you can automate it. All right. This is very important because life is going to life. It just is. Life is lifing for me, and it's been lifing for over a year. But because I'm figuring out how to adapt to the new life situations, the outward world won't know. If you don't know, and this is me being transparent, I had to put a pause on 2 of my team members, meaning I had to pause on paying them and pause on them doing work. Hard decision, but I had to make it. Am I bringing them back? For sure. But for at least 3 months, I got to put a pause because I got to make sure family is taken care of financially, because the business is shifting and pivoting on what services I'm going to pause or stop offering because I can't be out in the street like I was before. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, kids are getting older, so I need to be more present. All of that stuff. You gotta sit quiet. All right, cool. What's one of the services that I can just focus on? What's one of the services that I can just focus on, and that service is charging well enough that allows me to just focus on that one service. That's why you got to have multiple services and not just performing. Because if it's just performing, you're done. We have an internet, y'all. You all are educated and knowledgeable in many different areas, which means you can educate virtually, or they can call you in and you go do. There's a service that I'm about to start offering, and it's called VIP days. You know how I'm able to let's just take the Poet Transformation cohort. We do it 3 Mondays, right? Well, I'm going to combine that all into one day. I'm going to spend a day, 4 to 8 hours with someone to stand up their business. That allows me to knock something out in one day, get paid well in that one day, and move on. We got to start thinking about how we can diversify our offerings. When we do that, all right, I can't do this one. I can't perform right now. And that does not mean that I can't continue with my business. Because remember, this isn't just our business, this is our purpose. Now, if you have not synced those two together, that's the first step in understanding this isn't just some random business. This is what we were created for. What if I just stopped everything? You see what I'm saying? So I need y'all to see it like that and just pivot. That's all. And then throw it in the network or use AI to say, this is what I've been offering, but my life's changed. I kind of got to sit down, but what can I offer now with my credentials and my skills and my knowledge? It'll tell you, oh, you can do this, you can do that. Which one you want to work on? Which one you want to build out? What you need to know what to do first. Here's steps 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm telling you, don't just use it for your emails. Don't just use it for contract creation. It can be your business mentor. All right. G-Dash, did we get you? All right, Roadblock, what you got?
So for me, it goes back to what we to some of the things that was mentioned earlier, because like I wound up wearing multiple hats and doing a couple different things. So I get so focused on highlighting other people's messages that at times you forget to highlight your own, right? So like I'll be in the training room and like now like I'm getting better, but it's still a struggle of thinking to myself, well, maybe it's not appropriate to hand out my card because I'm doing here for somebody else's company. And it's like, no, they knew what you did when they hired you.
Or just ask the question. Is this okay for me to?
Absolutely. Because I like that's one of the things that I can struggle with from time to time. And it's just that cross promotion element in certain rooms. And listening to what you say, and sometimes I train entrepreneurs and I tell them there's never a point where somebody should meet you and not know that you have a business. And it should be the same. Like there shouldn't be people who meet me and be like, I didn't know that you were a poet.
Right.
Like that doesn't make sense. So
yeah, no, for real. Seriously. Those are opportunities, not just for opportunities. They're opportunities to create relationships. And poetry is a great conversation starter. Like business is it's just about relationships. It's not about sales. Once they know what you do and how awesome and how well you do it, it's a given. It's if they're interested, they're on it. Let's do some work. Tanisha.
Thank you. So I host events at times, and I'm an MC also, and I do my poetry for different organizations, for different events and so on. My thing is that sometimes I feel a bit timid talking about money because I've spent so much of my time doing it for free. And I'm okay when I go into the workplace and discussing or negotiating for my money. Yes, I can talk up and I can tell you what I want. But when it comes on to my poetry now, it's as if I'm a bit timid in speaking up for myself, for my business, you know. So that is something that I feel as if it's my weakness, or yeah, what I feel as if I'm losing out on.
I got it. No, that's a big one for most poets and the greatest of poets. Still timid or don't know how to charge. So, one, it's the transformation that changes everything. We're timid because we don't feel as if, at times, we don't feel as if we can provide the value that they're looking for. But when you know that what you have to offer makes a huge impact in someone's event and or project, then it takes the timidness away. But here's the other side of the transformation. It's so important to make the transformation because your mindset is not there of a business owner. It's still at an individual level. I'm a person and they're the big business and they're looking down at me and I'm looking down and I'm looking up at them. When you make the transformation, you go from here to here, right? Right now it's like this. The organization has the money, you want the money. They're looking down at you because, you have what they temporarily need, which is the performance or the art. But when you become the business owner as well, you it's almost like you automatically speak the language they speak. They automatically see you as their peer. And the one thing I need you to understand is companies and organizations, they're already used to paying that type of money anyway. So you don't have to be afraid to say, I'm looking at this with all of the requirements that you're requesting of me, that will be $500. But if you're presenting yourself as an individual, this is how they see you. They see you as someone who only needs gas money to get to the venue. Because from their eyes, you don't have any overhead like a business owner does, who has bills to run their business. So they wouldn't feel comfortable coming to another business saying, can you do this for free? That doesn't make sense. A business owner is not going to come to another business owner asking them to do something for free, but they will ask a person. They will ask an individual because they know you want exposure. They know you want at least $50. They know there's a difference in levels. And so you have to rise to the level that they're on and speak their language. Until then, the timidness will still be there. And that's why I say there are great poets that still are out here performing for free because they're performing as individuals and not entities. Does that make sense, Tanisha?
Certainly does. It makes a whole lot of sense. And you're right, taking it to the business level rather than the individual level, getting rid of that timidness and rising to the balanced playing field.
Correct. And that's why organizations like the one Britain named is reaching out to them. They're not reaching out to Britain. They're not reaching out to Casey. They're reaching out to who? Jaiku.
That's right.
They're not reaching out to the Poet Life. I'm sorry, they're not reaching out to Christoph. They don't even know who Christoph is. Not yet, because I'm working on my personal brand to where my personal brand will be seen as a company in and of itself. You want your individual self to be seen as a business, you have to intentionally create yourself to be, just like Jay-Z said, I'm not a businessman, I am a business man.
Man, gotcha.
You see, that's what he means. When you say my name, you know I'm more than an individual.
That's right.
But that takes time and intentionality to make your name business oriented. But until then, he wasn't able to make his name a business until he made his business a business.
Gotcha.
Because the business now is a case study. Now that I've been able to amass what the Poet Life is, whatever it is, I'm able to say, see, I've been able to turn this into something international. And that's my proof that Christoph Jenkins can do. Does that make sense?
That's right. It does.
Yeah. Yeah. So just understand that that's where that comes from, and that's what it will be until that transformation takes place. All right. And every month we have a poet transformation cohort. And so April is available. Jay Trowers, Jay Talawa just graduated last month in February, and then we have one poet that graduated this past 2 days ago on Monday. We're taking at least max. We're taking 8 poets a month, or up to 8 poets a month, so we can keep it intimate and we can focus directly on their businesses. Jay Talawa, talk to me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey. So what's good, everyone? I hope everyone's doing well.
Yes, sir. We're talking about roadblocks.
Okay, roadblocks. So that's different from the learned lessons, right?
Yeah, it's what's stopping you, what's slowing you down, what's in your way.
Gotcha. So the roadblock I would say currently that's most in my way is, at least just for this period of time right now, I'm completing things that have already been set in motion. So I'm in a play, so has been taking up all of my time. So that has been set in motion, and there's also a competition that I'm entering in July, and I'm completing things set in motion for that. They're not roadblocks; they're all stepping stones, really, because they're all developing my ability to perform, and developing my relationships within the creative community. They're only sort of roadblocks from the perspective that I'm not so much focusing on the development of the projects I'm so much associated with my business at the moment. So I do have a film therapy business. Sorry, I should say it's a community and event series that I've started. I have done 2 events so far. It's growing slowly. And that, so there so I'm doing it monthly, taking my time with it, experimenting, and allow it to grow, allowing word of mouth. Definitely getting a lot of sort of feedback from it, and trying different things, and playing with the format. So say if I didn't have the things that I was doing now, maybe I could do more in terms of pushing out that event series, possibly even experimenting with even holding it bi-weekly. The event, the space where I'm using it actually wants to have the event weekly, but I feel as if I rather keep it monthly, at least for now.
Yes.
And possibly could work with him in creating other event series that in that space, while this branded event is just specifically monthly. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
Yeah. I'm hearing take your time.
yes.
Take your time. Don't rush it. I know you really want to do it. But it's all about timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that it's about timing, and when the time comes, the time will present itself. The opportunity to do it right will present itself. I wanted to do the Poet Life Fest for years, for a long time, right? But I knew it was going to cost a lot of money, and this, that, and the third, and just a lot of heavy lifting. And so I said, you know what? I'm gonna pump my brakes. I'm gonna put it on the to-do or the back burner and listen and keep my eyes open for the opportunities that will allow it to happen seamlessly. I think I was at a church picnic, at a church picnic, having a good time, eating hot dogs and stuff, and I was sitting there talking to one of my church members at the time, and he says, I work for this organization, right? And he was telling me about his organization, about his new job, and they're looking for programming, and they have this big space. I said, is this the time? Is this the time? Right? And I said, man, it's interesting that you're sharing what you're sharing, because I've been listening and just kind of waiting to pull this out of the bag, and I wanted to do the Poet Life Fest, but not sure where to. He said, do it here, please. He got on the phone right there in the park, called his boss and said, hey, I got a colleague of mine who's looking to house this festival, and he wants to do it at our location. They had a big parking lot in DC. Did not, so basically we partnered with them, which means didn't have to pay for the venue.
Yeah.
And we did the festival together. Like, which means all of their members and community people that they're connected to came to the festival, and we had 2,000 people there.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you all have ideas. You don't have to do them right now.
Facts.
But here's what I was saying before. Keep watering the seed. Don't just leave it in the back burner. When you hear and see things that can add to that, cool, write it down, right? That back burner still has notes that you write on. Oh, all right. I'm gonna put his name and phone number. He's a resource to make this thing happen. Right? So when it's time, you can then, but if you don't have anything back here and an opportunity comes, you don't have nothing.
Yeah.
But that one thing that you're working on.
Yeah.
Have the ideas and write notes to them on the back burner periodically. All right. Beautiful. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. We jump into goals. What's happening that what are you pursuing? What's on, what are you trying to accomplish by next month? In the next 30 days? What are we working on? What in the next 7, 14, 21, 30 days? What's on our goal list, our accomplishment list? Now this got to be the one that everybody hands is up. We don't have no goals. RS White.
Yeah, so next 30 days, I'm gonna enroll and lock in with you, and then I'm gonna also make sure I get this stuff submitted for this gig, and see how much money I can get out of them with that. But also get ready for this writing 30 for 30 in April.
Got it. Who's 30 for 30 you doing, or you doing your own?
I'm doing my own because I still gotta finish up this Ramadan 30 for 30 challenge I started as well.
Got it. So don't just hop on everybody else's 30 for 30 or whatever else everybody got going on. Create your own. Create your own and attach it to your brand. The RS White 30 for 30. Does that make sense?
Say less.
That's for everybody. Like beautiful. I love the fact that everybody has something. But what do you have for your brand? And everybody should be crushing April. Everybody should be calling you for April. If church people in schools, whoever you're connected to, if they're not calling you in relation to Poetry Month, you got some work to do with your brand. You got some work to do with your brand, because your name should be top of mind, because all of these schools, churches, and organizations have to do something. They're going to do something related to poetry. If any month is a busy month, it needs to be April. Britton, what's the goal for the next 7 to 30 days? Got to come off mic or come on to the mic. All right, let me know if you're there, and I'll come back to you, Britton. Toya.
To get this LLC knocked out and to get the revamping or adding both, revamping Poet Lady Rose website separately and then adding I'm still trying to, I know it's going to be Petal and Thorns. I know before I said Petals and Thorns production, but I'm thinking of a couple other iterations of that, but settle on the name, and then do that website separately, and then add the Poet Lady Rose under a service of Petals and Thorns production.
Beautiful. Here's a hack for you. Let your personal brand be a landing page on your new business page or business website.
We need to see what you're meaning, because I see people mention landing pages, and I think I even have a landing page when I was doing a fundraiser for a book, putting a book out, but it'd probably be helpful for me to see. Oh, look at you.
Real quick, I got you. So, all right. So this is the Poet Life website, right? This is all things poet life. Da, 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 da. However, for poets, you click on this. This is the landing page for the network. I'm not doing 1,000 websites. Not doing it. And Academy. Move out the way, bar. Okay. Academy. Here's the landing page. Right. So
what's the difference between a web page and a landing page?
So you have a website.
Right.
It has multiple pages. Some people create a landing page, which is just a page, but it's a site. Right? They create a one-page website basically for a project, for an event. Does that make sense? And they put a domain on that landing page. Instead of having multiple sites, my umbrella is the Poet Life. And so what I plan to do with my personal brand is to and you don't have to do it this way, but again, I'm not paying for 5 different sites. I will create a page. I will create a page, and I'm just showing you real quick. Go down here. I'm gonna push button, says new page, and this will be designed. And why am I going to do this? The reason why I'm going to do this and not have separate pages or separate sites is because when they come to this page, which will be christophjenkins.com, they will then also see all of the other stuff that I got going on. All right.
Yeah, I don't understand how that's different because
different to what?
I mean, I don't understand how that's different from me adding a page to, so let's say your Poet Life, from just putting a tab of Christoph Jenkins whatever under the Poet Life, and it just redirects, is basically pointing to.
Then we're saying the same thing then.
Okay.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing. But I won't have a tab up here that says Christoph. I'm treating it like they're 2 different sites. This page will have my domain directed to this page, my christophjenkins.com to it. But I'm not going to have a tab up here that says Christoph Jenkins. You will just know that you can go to christophjenkins.com. And while you're there, you can say, oh, shoot. If they didn't know anything about the Poet Life, they know now.
It's just a domain with a page versus a website?
Correct. So, correct. So, like I just showed you here, for the Academy, this also has poetlifeacademy.com forwarded to this page. So I have multiple domains, so I don't have to say, hey, when I'm talking personal brand, I don't have to say, go to thepoetlife.com/Christoph. Or go to thepoetlife.com and hit the tab that says Christoph to get to my landing page about my personal brand. I can simply say, go to christophjenkins.com, and it will go to thepoetlife.com/Christoph. Does that make sense? I might be going all over the place.
I'm getting there slowly. And I know I don't have to do it the way you're saying. I know, like you said, give me a hack. but I just want to, it bugs me when I don't understand something, but because I can keep my domain.
Yes.
Because like right now it's $19.99 a month is what I'm paying for that particular website. But I gotta think on that because my brain's not quite, but I think I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But yeah, so that's just really trying to have the visual elevation and as we've been talking, and I've always heard and seen the value in what you're talking about, and taking and making those moves and adjustments and everything. But now I'm at a place where I'm like, okay, I gotta do this, especially because people are like, yeah, I know who you are, I know what you do, but I'm at that crossroads of people are still treating me like an individual, and I'm really got to get beyond that. So
yeah, put some time and some energy into definitely, because that's your home. That's your home online. And that's for everybody. Begin working on that website. Yes, you can use Instagram for portfolio right now so they can see your work. But let's go from mom and pop to luxury, to excellence, to greatness. All right. All right, real quick. We got 12 minutes. All right, here we go. Jo, goals. Go for it. Or goal.
My main goal right now is to publish my book. And that's probably number one on the list.
Got
and
it.
Also, I want to grow in my poetic business. I want to work with other artists as well. Maybe write something that would be really cool.
All right. Don't publish that book without a plan to sell it.
Right.
Please. Too many people, not just poets, are just happy to say they're authors without having a plan to sell it. And they got boxes of books in the basement. All right. So let's before we put that out there, let's make sure that we have a plan on how we are working around that book. Because the book will be the byproduct of what you create around that book, whether it's a workshop, it's a tour, whatever that might be, that says, oh, let me get this book too. And it kind of syncs together with the big thing that you're creating around it. All right. So connect with me and we'll talk more about it. Beautiful. Good stuff. I love it. G-Jones, gold.
Easy. I'm setting up. I gotta apply for this grant ASAP. And in my brain, it's just getting the formula together. So, because I really want the grant to be able to afford for some content to be kind of professionally produced for what I do, but also be in a position where it's going to make me money in that process. So it's kind of getting some things logistically together so it makes sense. But that's my goal really by April 1st. I got to get that done. So that's what I'm working on.
Yeah. Ask for help through ChatGPT.
Thank you.
Yep. If at the very least it's for ideas, let it help you flesh out your ideas. All right. Carice Williams, am I saying your name right?
You are saying my name right.
Hey, I win.
Hi. I guess I should turn on my camera since everybody else's camera is on. So yeah. Hi.
Hey.
You said in terms of what we're doing for the next 30 days.
Yeah, what's one of your goals?
Well, lots been going on. I do have books published. I haven't got the boxes of books. So yeah, I'm still trying to raise funds to but I've got a few people interested within my peer group, but not as many people as I'd want. I really just started advertising to my friends and family because I had this. Is that I wanted people to buy the book who actually care and not just care about just supporting me. I want people who are actually interested in buying. But I was talking to there is a guy who lives very close to me. He's also a poet. I should probably invite him to this. Now that I'm thinking of, because he's been doing this long before I have.
Sure.
He actually didn't know that I wrote. Because he was like, because he even came to me because I would have helped him write like the acknowledgements and like format his books like a long time ago. And like when I actually did my book, he's like, so all of this time, so all this time you could have written to, and I was like, yeah, he's like, I've always written. People just don't know that. I don't know why. It's not really something I put out there. But he's saying that he has sold his book to persons within his network, and sometimes like long after, probably like 3-4 years after, that's when they actually read it, and then they're saying, this is actually good. So I was like, all right, that gave me a different perspective as it relates to selling within to family and friends.
Yeah.
It's still not a lot because sometimes you share it with people and they're like, congrats, and they're like, it's just congrats on what?
Yeah.
Are you gonna buy the book or not?
Beautiful. That's a good goal.
Yeah.
That's a good
So
goal.
that's it. But I think with a lot of skills, I do think I have sales skills, but I don't like selling.
I understand.
So that's something I have to get out of, because as I said, even with that guy, like he walks the streets and sells his books. Like he will go to schools and talk to people every day. So I don't know. It probably seems more awkward for me to do that. I don't know why.
Right.
Probably I'll find a different strategy, but I'm just thinking about how I'm going to do that. But I've been doing other things to be more public. Have 2 events, one tomorrow and on Friday. I'm sure Casey would have talked about at least the one on Friday with CARICON. And there's another one for students or past students from the University of the West Indies. So I went there, so I applied, and they said, hey, yeah, you're in the top 10 and whatever. So I'm going to be performing there. So spoken word is something I'm actually just taking up. It's not really terrible, but it's not something I foresaw myself doing, but here I am. So I did a workshop over the last 6 weeks. So that has really helped with some of, so it helped me like to tailor some of my poems for that. So yeah, so let's see how that goes. Oh yeah, and I started a community called Write a Yard, and we did our first open mic Sunday.
Nice.
So yeah, I've had about 18 to 19 people that joined, and at least 11 persons shared their poem. So yeah, so I'm working on building that out as well, and let's see if I'll have more news next time.
All right, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Before I get to someone who just hopped in here, we're gonna celebrate her real quick. Carice just mentioned books. And here's how books can be easy to sell or simple to sell. You have to figure out what's the subject matter of your book. Not just, I got a book, right? Think about you going into a bookstore. You're not just going to grab a book because it's a book, right? What value does the book provide me? Right. You said that you did not want somebody to buy it just because you wrote it, right? Cool. So your job is to present to the people how it adds value to them.
Okay.
Then they're like, oh, okay, got you. That makes sense. Not just it's poetry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Now you know what to post about. right? Subject matter and information and education and entertainment and laughter concerning the subject matter. That's what you post online and things, right? But then, all right, how does it connect to a cause? How about what about my writing connects to someone going through something? And then I connect to an organization that advocates or fights for that cause. Because now your book can be a resource that the organization buys 50 of and gives to their members.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to walk the streets and say,
Buy
you know
my
what I'm saying?
book.
Right.
Oh,
There's a, and
yeah.
then there's pre-sales before you even publish the book, that where people start buying it before you publish it. So you're bringing money in, you create an excitement for it. Hey, it's on pre-sale, go get it right now. So you're bringing money in before you even put the book. So there's a bunch of ways to feel confident in presenting, because I don't sell anything either. I'm simply going to make it dope and present it. If you think it's dope,
then buy it.
If
That's
not,
it.
I'm gonna move on to the next person who thinks it's dope. I don't have time to convince. I'm not convincing. No, I don't have time for it.
Yeah. I
All right.
think this is funny, but I think I was sharing my book idea with ChatGPT, and it was saying that a good place to like is like with psychologists, because one of my books, like Above Water, would talk about a lot of like mental health and getting past issues and stuff like that. So that was a suggestion that it could be a helpful resource for like people who are therapists and counselors
So
and
that's a
things like
lane
that.
that you need to
Yeah.
be in.
So
Okay.
because I actually try to keep all my books within a theme.
There you go.
So it's
There you go.
not like just all the poems I wrote,
For
it's
sure.
within, a particular category.
Gotcha.
So
That's beautiful.
yeah.
Well, if anybody on here is not a part of the network, you need to be. Go to the
Mhm.
poetry, 3 words, poetrybusinessnetwork.com. Before we close out, I do want to celebrate Tamara Cosby. Everybody clap it up for Tamara Cosby. She just graduated this month, 2 days ago on Monday. That was her third Monday for now becoming a poetry business owner. Talk to us, Tamara. How you feeling?
Good evening. I'm feeling great. I definitely enjoyed our sessions. Very insightful, full of wisdom. Like I mentioned to you before, when I joined the Poetry Business Challenge, because that's what it was called before.
Right.
I wasn't in the mental space, or like where I am now, I wasn't prepared back then. And so now I'm really like, yeah, it's time to implement this for real and not just say it, but move in action.
Beautiful. What's the name of your business?
Peaceful Pathways.
Ooh, that's a fire name. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, that's what we're doing, y'all. That's what we're doing. The process from knowing that you need to start ends at the Poet Transformation cohort, but it ends and then starts a new chapter, because right now we're working towards getting or becoming poetry business owners. Now that we're becoming, or once we become a poetry business owner, now it's time to put the systems in place into our business. It doesn't end when you become a poetry business owner. Oh, I'm a poetry business owner now. Now you're like, all right, what do I do? Got you. Now it's time to start working towards doing what businesses do. Going to go get the work, serving the people with the work. All right. So just want to so you know what this thing looks like. Yeah, this was a good session. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed everybody here. Thank you for sharing, your wins, your lessons, your roadblocks, your goals. Now let's go get them. Let's go get them. And I look forward to seeing updates in the network, questions in the network. Don't go back and be solo and alone. It slows the process down. And then you go back into a shell. You can't do this alone. Trust me when I tell you. I didn't just create it for you. I created it for me too. Now I got a community of people that I can talk to this about. I was lonely too. I was like, man, I'm going to create me a community so I can start talking to people about this. I love this. All right. So listen, y'all, if you're not a part of a chapter in your state, let us know so we can put you in the chapter that we already have established. And if we don't have one established in your state, let us know so we can establish one. All right. We out of here, y'all. Y'all have an awesome night. I appreciate y'all. When y'all leave here, go to your social media and say what you just did. Continuously document your process. Man, I just got this gem. I know what I'm doing now. I need to see it. Tag us and we'll share it and expand it as much as we can. All right. Everybody good? I appreciate y'all. Y'all have an awesome night and the rest of your week.
Thank you.
Have a great one.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
y'all.
Thanks. Take care, everybody.
All right.
Good night.
Let's rock and roll.